So, thank you again, Lara.
Probably what, 10 minutes?
Okay, here.
10 minutes?
Or 15.
He said 15, and you can.
Right,
Let's
that
see what I
was-
can
See,
do.
Okay.
He has a lot
He's
more
already,
words.
well, he's already telling us what to do.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah, I'm Sheldon, and I'm an alcoholic.
Sheldon.
And God, it's great to be here. I had a long and successful drinking career. I mean, I planned my life around it. I was very successful as a young guy in my 20s, and it was, drinking was fun. That was back when drinking was really fun, and I built a few companies. In my early 30s, I sold out, moved to Brazil. Nothing to do, just cruising around Brazil and having fun. And I got back here, and it's like, well, what do I do? I've still got money left, and I got divorced from my wife, and it's like, what do you do? So I bought myself a sailboat on Lake Union, and got a job bartending part-time just for fun, which was great for my social life. And it went from there, and then it was okay. But some years back, about 14, 15 years ago, I got cancer and went into the emergency room with colon cancer and almost died in the hospital, and came out of there about a month and a half later. And the one drug I'd never tried were opiates. And it was really good stuff. And it was like, I remember waking up in the isolation ICU, and they showed me that button, and the fentanyl was just, it's like, everything's going to be okay. It's just great. So that was fine. I get out, and I started getting addicted to them, and I'm scientific enough to know that pretty soon I'd be doing heroin. So I scientifically came up with proper doses of vodka. And so I'd carry a vodka tonic around, like a sippy cup like that. I would have a screwdriver at 9, a screwdriver at 10, and I had my little company. And then I would sip a vodka tonic all day long. And it got to a point where it was just exactly a fifth a day over 12 hours. And it was okay, but the problem was I felt really trapped. I mean, it was every morning I would wake up and I knew that was probably wrong. And I'd put my toothbrush in my mouth and I would just dry heave. And I figured out it was from the anxiety of knowing I would drink that day. And I had no control over it. I didn't really have any consequences. This is the thing. Nothing really bad happened because I was so goddamn careful. And because it was a bad look, to get a DUI or anything like that, or to fall down drunk. But then that went on for a while. And one day I was over with my 90-year-old neighbor, and I keep an eye on him. And he was trying to drink himself to death and not doing a very good job of it. And I would never drink with him because he drank cheap bourbon. And I'd already had my dose of vodka. And I went over there. For some reason, I said yes to a glass of bourbon. And I remember walking out the door, and then I heard a friend of mine found me crawling. I lived about 100 feet away. I found myself, I guess I was crawling across the parking lot towards my boat. And he found me. And I that morning I woke up on the floor of my sailboat in the bedroom, and I'd fallen out of bed. And it was like, okay, there's going to be an intervention probably. And so I called immediately. I didn't want anything to do with you guys. I had friends that came here and got sober, and they were weird afterwards, and just so strange. So I called Sheldon, got an appointment for the next day, and at the time I was separated from my another wife, and so she dropped me off down there, and I had a great time there. I mean, it was my first time being deliberately sober. Bunch of great people just like me, and they were just going to fix me in 10 days. But I ended up in detox for 2 days before that. I said, I'm fine. I'm like, now, look at your hands, So that's the way I was, and so it became very clear. And so I did this thing, and I did get some sobriety, and then I had another surgery. almost a year later. And I'd scheduled my opiates. I was doing all the responsible stuff. And I got infected, and he's got to probably saved my life on that one too. It got infected and ended up back in the hospital for a couple more weeks and lots more opiates. They just kept feeding me more opiates while I was having this problem. And so I get out from that. I'm pissed off because they wouldn't listen to me that I had an infection, and they finally let me out of the hospital. And I was mad the whole time I was there, and a few protocols got changed because of that. But I said, and who's picking you up? I said, I'm walking home because I'm still kind of angry. And so I walked home, got in my car, up to Trader Joe's, picked up a bottle of vodka, and had my first drink in about a year. And from there on, it was the same thing, a fifth a day, and sometimes a little more. Ralph would sometimes catch me repeating myself. But this guy, he would just stop by randomly all the time. And he said, "Oh, I'm just coming over to make sure I don't smell a dead body in here." And he's just always and very nice. He never say anything, but it was he had eased me in there before. No, he was after this, and he got me to come to a meeting, and I thought it was just great. Went to Water's Edge, and it was close by, and it was wonderful. You all were wonderful, and it was just great to go. And I was sober, and so I get 8 or 9 months when I go out. Usually about May, and the sun started coming out, and something was going on in my life. My sister was dying, and I was up in Vancouver a lot, not going to meetings, and so I'd go out, and I'd stay out for almost a year every time. But drinking on a head full of AA sucks. I mean, it really sucks, knowing that you have to do this and feeling so trapped. And so this went on and on. About almost 7 years ago, I was out, and my mom called me, and my dad was getting sick with cancer, and she called, and she just said these few words, and she just said, and she didn't even remember saying this, but she said, "I have a sick husband and a sick son." And for some reason, that hit me between the eyes, in the gut, all at the same time. And I think that's what caused my surrender. And next day I went to a meeting, and it was different. You guys were saying different things, and actually what you were saying was interesting. If I go to the meetings, I liked it. It was kind of fun, and, but I didn't listen the way I do these days. So 7 years on September, I forgot my date. It's September 10th, I think. So I'm going to have 7 years. And since then, I've gotten something completely different out of this. I've discovered in the last couple of years that I have faith, which I thought I only had faith in myself before. But now I have faith. And I always thought people that had faith were weak. Because most of the people I knew like that were born-again Christians that just beat me over the head with a Bible, and I didn't like that. But since I've gotten this faith, I've found a serenity that I've never ever in my life had, even when I was a kid. And so it has been an ongoing great journey. And some crazy people at my meeting elected me GSR without me asking, and I stay really active at our meeting and helping others. And I mean, it's just been, I just can't tell you, for all the things I've done in my life, this is probably the best and most important thing I've ever done is being with you guys. And so that's my story. And I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad to see all of you. So thanks. Is that enough time?
Thanks, Sheldon.
Thank you.